Good morning, everyone. It's very nice to be here. My name is Yusuf. Let's wait a bit till the slides are loading, right? So my name is Yusuf. I'm Android engineer Android engineer at HungerStation. So HungerStation is basically you can start the slides. HungerStation is basically a food delivery company in Saudi Arabia. You all probably know the Talabat, right? Here we use Talabat for food delivery. So HungerStation is basically Talabat of Saudi Arabia. For some reasons, Talabat does not operate there, so the app is replaced by HungerStation. So in fact, if you go to Saudi Arabia and open Talabat, it will actually ask you to download HungerStation and install it because both of them are in the same company. Yeah, go to the next slide. So yeah, I've been building Android apps since 2015. So it's like my 10-year anniversary building Android apps. I'm working at HungerStation for last year. I started like exactly April 2015, so 2024. So it's like my 1-year anniversary at HungerStation as well. And for the last couple of years, I've been sharing some stuff on Android development and Android career, in general, IT career on YouTube and on my Medium blog. Yeah, and I became Google Developer Expert 2 years ago, like basically because I've been sharing stuff I do in the internet, basically. Yeah, so this is the HungerStation app. This is, just a Play Store page. We have over 10 million users, and this is my small YouTube blog where I have over 500 followers, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so in this slide, we're not gonna see any foolish code, right? Because many developers really like to show some code and try to explain it during the talks, but that doesn't really make sense because first of all, it's not visible. It's going to be too small, right? And second of all, people are not going to, understand it anyways because, like, you may not know the technology, you may not read the code that's written there, or you may not even, understand what's going there. So I'll try to focus on high-level concepts, on abstractions, so that we'll get some useful and beneficial knowledge out of this session. So basically, the topic is AI and cross-platform. So like we hear AI all the time, right? We have ChatGPT, we have Claude, we have lots of AI tools nowadays. So AI is becoming the next big thing. Like everyone is doing AI. Like last week I was in Tunisia and they have a basically AI journal, AI media, where they're focusing solely on AI and what it can do for you, what it can do for your business, how you can use it and make your life easier. So it's now becoming the modern real life. So like 25 years ago, the internet became like everything thing, right? Everything became everything started using internet. Like nowadays we have internet everywhere in our phones, in our cars, in our computers. AI now is also becoming something like this, even though not maybe this year or next year, but I think in the next 5-10 years, AI is going to be something like internet. So it's going to be everywhere, right? But currently there is a huge hype around it. Like maybe many people misunderstand it. Many people expect some things that it does not do for it to do. Like many think that it's going to be magically doing stuff, right? But no, AI is also one of the technologies. No, previous slide. Yeah, it's one of the technologies that can make our lives easier, but we still gotta do something about this. So basically, using AI in your mobile app development or any other kind of development in your IT and even like generally in your day-to-day life makes your life easier, and AI apps, AI projects, AI websites, or AI services are becoming like the big thing nowadays. So basically, why you should use AI while you're building mobile apps is because everyone is doing this now. So if you're not doing this, you're one step behind the everyone, right? So the second topic that we're going to try to cover, but maybe not as much as AI, is cross-platform mobile development. So many people already know, for example, about Flutter, right? I think this Flutter's mascot? Yeah, this is Flutter. So there is let's say, big technology used nowadays everywhere, Flutter, which does both mobile app development, like for Android and iOS, and it also does the desktop web apps development as well. But there is also Kotlin multiplatform technology, which also does basically the same things as Flutter, but it's a bit younger and it's less covered. So we're going to focus on it as well a bit. And basically, these two things, like cross-platform development and AI, nowadays are becoming the core concept of the whole industry. Because nowadays, Basically, companies can save lots of money by using cross-platform technologies, be it Compose Multiplatform or Flutter or something else, right? And at the same time, using AI capabilities, we can build much more higher quality products that give the users more capabilities than like the apps been providing like for the last 20 years. Yeah, let's focus on the next slide. So basically, Gemini is the AI tool, AI platform, AI service that's provided by Google. So again, we all know ChatGPT, right? So ChatGPT is provided by OpenAI. It's the biggest AI service and everything in the world nowadays. But this event is sponsored by Google, so we're going to focus on Google's solution. We're not going to talk about OpenAI. If OpenAI actually makes me their expert, then I can go and promote their service as well. But no, for now, we're going to focus on Google. So basically, Gemini is the AI, like machine learning AI technology from Google, and it basically does pretty much everything that ChatGPT does. So if you know what ChatGPT is doing, or Claude or any other AI tools are doing, you can basically understand what Gemini can do. And all of these technologies, aside from being customer services, aside having the chat application that we can use in our phones or through their website, all of them also provide the API. So they provide the capability to use their service in your own apps. So if you want to build an application that uses AI that's going to be, for example, doing the, I don't know, helping somehow with medical reports, that's somehow, if you want some fraction of what ChatGPT does in your own application, or what Gemini does in your own application, you're going to do this using the Gemini's API, because basically Google is, and all other companies are so generous that they give us this opportunity, right? Of course, we're going to pay for it. It's not free. At some point, it becomes basically paid. But yeah, to start with, you can use it for free. And Gemini basically does everything as its Gemini API can do everything that its, let's say, customer app does. So it has natural language technology. It can do image processing. It can do image generation as well. It can do code generation. So if you want, for example, to build an app that does some kind of image processing, let's say image editing, right? You just upload your image and ask to have some captions on it or somehow edit it. Or you can just write some prompt and ask the technology to generate an image for it. You can do this all using the Gemini API. And it can be inside your application. So before, if you wanted to generate an image, you had to build a backend that could be capable of this, right? And it really requires lots of effort. Like you would need ML engineers, you would need some specialists who can do this, or you can have, of course, the back office that has 200 people sitting there and generating images at a scale, right? Doing this AI, not artificial but natural intelligence stuff. But basically nowadays you can do this using Gemini API, and basically it drives your app to become AI driven, and it can give your users capabilities that AI can provide inside your application. So any questions, anything that you're interested in regarding the AI part, like maybe some things that you're interested to know if AI can do this, for example, or if you can use it in your own application. Any questions?
Have you tried Gemini API versus ChatGPT?
Yes, I've tried both of them. Basically, the first thing that really is problematic with OpenAI's solution is that it really makes your life so hard to start using their solution, their API, because at least 2 years ago when I used OpenAI's API, first of all, I couldn't use it for free, even to start with. So I had to enter my card data, etc., and first buy some kind of tokens, like some amount of tokens, to start using it. So this is like a big blocker, because when you want to try some technology, you just want to see if it suits your goals or not, right? First of all. But yeah, OpenAI has these blockers. Maybe 2 years later nowadays it's easier. But at that time, it was basically asking for me to have credit card, first of all. And this credit card could not be any credit card. It has to be US-based credit card. So I wouldn't be able to use my local Uzbekistan Visa card or Saudi Arabian or even Egyptian Visa card, right? I had to have a US-based credit card. And basically, I somehow managed to get my friend's credit card and like pay for it. But at the end of the day, still, I didn't really keep using it because at that time I wasn't really focused. But Gemini in this terms is much more easier. So you basically can get $500 worth of free tokens and start building your app with it. And if at some point you scale it enough so that $500 is not enough, then you can start paying for it. But yeah, in general, the main advantage to my liking of the Gemini is that it's very easy to start with. The onboarding part and everything else is really good and done very easily because Google has lots of experience like building such services like APIs. And OpenAI are, I guess, more focused on their customer products. So yeah, that's, I guess, expected behavior. So yeah, but anyways, even like you should not be limited by one technology, of course. You can also try OpenAI's API. You can try Claude's, like Anthropic's API and everything like this. In general, it's better to have to include like to have different APIs in your app if you're going to build the AI-based like applications that are using some third parties. So yeah, I think we can go to the next slide. Basically, and what does Compose Multiplatform do in this equation, right? So basically, as with Flutter, Compose Multiplatform is a solution that allows you to build mobile apps using a single code base and scale it to different technologies, to different platforms. So basically, have anyone here done Android development before? Like, do you have any Android development experience? So basically, a couple of people done this. Basically, for Android development, when you want to build your apps only for Android platform, you can use Jetpack Compose, which is kind of technology by Google for building apps on Android. But lately, for last, let's say, couple of years, also Compose Multiplatform technology was introduced. And basically, it means that you can have your code base for Android app that builds the UI for your Android app and just use it and run it on iOS apps as well. And you can run it also on desktop apps. You can also run it on web applications, right? So basically, multi-platform allows to have a single code base and run it on different platforms. Of course, this is not a new thing nowadays, right? There have been a bunch of multi-platform technologies in the past. Most of them were supporting mainly Android and iOS because these are the dominating platforms, and we usually build apps for mobile phones, and they're usually on Android or iOS, right? So there have been Xamarin technology from Microsoft. There is React Native from Facebook. There is Flutter from Google, right? But everyone is using. There were some smaller technologies before. Most of them were web-based. But basically now we have also Compose Multiplatform, which is kind of based on Android, like on what you mainly do for Android. So basically, if you are Android developer who already has some background in Android, it will be very easy for you to start using Jetpack Compose. So basically, you don't even need to do anything. The code base that you already built is going to run on all of these like new platforms that you might intend to build your app for. Basically, the technology, it's based on Kotlin, Kotlin programming language. It supports all these technologies. And again, like doing some magic stuff, some setup for your code base, you can start to run it on iOS, desktop, and web. And basically, the main use case, to be honest, for this platform, for this technology, to my liking, is when you have Android background, when you already have Android expertise, and you don't want to spend maybe a couple of days, maybe even a couple of days to start learning some new technology when you already have some code base, for example, and you don't want to spend time to rewrite it on other technology. You can just try to adapt your code to use Compose Multiplatform, and then with the same code base, you can basically be able to build and scale your app for more platforms. So we can go next. And benefits of this approach of using Kotlin multiplatform or Compose multiplatform instead of, let's say, just Compose, for example, just native code, is that you'll be basically using your time or your resources more effectively, right? Because nowadays, even if you think about it as a business, not as an engineer or as a manager, but as a business, hiring, let's say, 2 engineers for Android and iOS, like separate engineer for both platforms, is going to cost you like twice as much, right? As if you have one developer. So, and one more advantage that we already mentioned, that the existing Android code base, if it's using Jetpack Compose, can be reused. So this is also a big thing because like many times, many businesses, many startups, many apps, like companies, they struggle with this decision. They want to see like, okay, we've been building our app like for Android and iOS. Now we want to switch to Flutter, for example. It means that we have to rewrite the existing code base, right? Or we can gradually build new stuff in Flutter. Like Flutter allows this as well, like to use the two code bases at the same time. But in that case, you're gonna end up with 3 code bases because you have your existing Android native code, you have your existing iOS native code, and now you're introducing the third platform, which is Flutter, for example. And like it's easier to get confused and to have more problems if you are basically like having three code bases, right? And with Compose Multiplatform, you basically can reduce this number to 2. So you're going to still have your iOS native code base from the existing code base, and Android code base can be used for both of these platforms. And at some point, maybe you can just rewrite everything for iOS to Jetpack Compose as well. Yeah. And if you use Gemini API, you can give your app extra capabilities. Because basically, the way classic app development, how it works, to have some capability in your app, you have to build this capability, right? If you want to, let's say, yep.
What is your opinion about vibe coding and use IDEs that contain LLM models built in it?
Yeah, vibe coding. Yeah, vibe coding is actually a big thing. To be honest, I don't really understand what vibe coding is. Like this wording a bit confuses me. Like, does it mean just not writing code at all and just getting code? Yeah. In that case, of course, this is actually, I guess, a good thing because like many more people nowadays are able to write or build software even without any technology background. And even before, there have been lots of technologies, no-code technologies, right? You have Flutterflow, you have other no-code technologies where you can just drag and drop and build some kind of product, right? But vibe coding, it kind of allows you to do this like, I don't know, more professional, not professional, definitely not professional, but like, let's say faster maybe, right? You don't even have to onboard into this like no-code. You just start to write what you want, right? And then you get result. But the thing is that like if you're doing vibe coding doesn't necessarily mean, I think it doesn't really mean that you can do software developer career. Vibe coding is good if you want to build your own products, which to be honest, like to my liking, is actually better than being software engineer. Like I would be happy to build my own products rather than like work for someone and get a salary for that, right? I mean, getting salary is also good, right? Because sometimes you can work for someone and not get salary at all. But like basically, if you're doing vibe coding, you should just set your priorities correctly. Don't expect to be a great software engineer, but you can expect to become an owner of your own product. You can build your MVPs doing vibe coding, right? And later on, if everything goes smoothly and you got your first customers, you can hire engineers and ask them to build upon this code base that you built. But in general, I like this. I like this stuff happening. Basically, like a phrase that I came up with about the vibe coding is that software engineers who write the code and everything themselves, they may use AI tools as well, but they understand what's going on. Most of the cases, they get paid. So they get paid salary, or you're freelancing, you get paid for your project to build. Vibe coders, they make money. So they're hustling. So they don't expect someone to pay them, but they rather build products that make them money. So you can just look at it in this way. So if you want to live in a stable mode where you get your paycheck every month, in that case, yeah, you can go and become software engineers. But if you want to build your own products, then vibe coding is actually perfect for that.
The problem that fresh programmers think that the AI will replace the job.
Yeah.
And everyone can write can make any app or website by vibe coding. So what's your opinion about that?
Basically, this thing been there like for a long time. Like it's been nowadays AI replacing jobs. Before it was like IDs replacing jobs, computers replacing jobs, technology replacing jobs. I don't think it's going to work this way. Basically, what happens is that the processes and professions will evolve. Basically, before, like in maybe 20 years ago, the first IDs were released. Like people would think like, okay, now IDE can write a code, right? It's going to replace me. No, it's not going to do this. Like, have anyone seen Charlie and Chocolate Factory movie, like with Johnny Depp and where they go to the chocolate factory. They have Oompa Loompas and everything. Like in that movie, this boy's father was fired, like from their toothpaste company, toothpaste factory, right? And then later on, in the end of the movie, they hire him to basically he was replaced by a robot who would be sticking this cap on the toothpaste. And then later on, they hired his father to fix this like robot, right? To maintain this robot. Something like this will be happening here because even to use AI correctly, like productively, let's say, you have to know what's going on there. Like the code that AI is producing, let's say if it's not doing something like exactly how you want, you still need knowledge to understand like why it's not working properly and fix it, right? So for that term, engineers will still be in demand, right? But of course, the requirements will be changed. So nowadays, from junior engineer, people will not, like the companies will not be just expecting to have some basic knowledge. Something more will be expected because the basic stuff, not even basic, like advanced stuff, writing code is already done by AI. So now, like in this situation, junior engineers' communication skills, their soft skills, the way they plan, the way they estimate and everything like this, like basically soft skills will be even more important. But to be honest, even in my position at HungerStation, I can see that at this point, soft skills are more important for me to do my job well than my hard skills, like technical skills, because basically building a new button may take like a couple of hours, right? But or it might not take a couple of hours. It may take more. But to justify why it takes more to your managers, to the business, and give the correct estimates and everything like this, the things that are important for the business are nowadays more important than for me to just write a code. So like I spent 4 days planning and communicating and doing stuff, and then I spent 2 hours to build this button, right? But if I fail to do this stuff, communication before, then basically everyone will think that basically I'll fail. If I fail before even starting writing the code. So I think this thing will be more common, like everywhere, because again, as we know, AI now can write code, so it's not a superpower nowadays.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I love it. Thanks so much.
Yep. I guess that's it. Thank you very much. Yeah, there is QR code so in like last slide, so you can slide that QR code and then get the. Yeah.
It's in the same name.
Yes. So even that QR code like leads to my.
It's a very little gift for you.
Thank you so much.